One of the most important parts, or a number of the most important parts in your golf swing, are grip, posture, and balance. We're going to give you a good idea how to get into those. These are very, very important, because if these aren't correct, being consistent with your swing is very, very difficult. So grip. First, you want to just let your arms just hang in front of you. Look at how your lead arm hangs, your left arm for a right-handed player. You want to get your grip on the club with your arm hanging very close to the same position. You want to also make sure that the club is in your fingers. People tend to get the club too much up here in the palm of their hand. If you wear your golf glove out up here on the heel, the club's too much in the palm of your hand. So we've got it in the fingers, the left arm on the way your arm hangs natural. Now the weaker your left hand goes, you can do that, and a lot of good players do it, but that means you have to have more forearm rotation through the ball to square the club face. So if you get it on the club the way your arm hangs natural, you can just let the weight of the club elongate your arm and the club face will square. Your right hand doesn't go on the way your arm hangs natural. It goes on with your right palm. This part of your right palm goes right on the back of this left thumb that's on the side of the shaft. So the palm goes on there, and the club goes in my fingers of my right hand, not down in here, in the fingers. Palm goes on my thumb, and my right palm is facing the target. This knuckle right here, the thumb knuckle and this index finger are touching. There's no space for the club to move. If there's space at the top of your swing, the club will move around. So left hand in the fingers the way your arm hangs, right hand, fingers, palm on the back of the thumb, facing the target. You've got your bridge to hold the club. You've got the foundation for a good swing. Now, the next step is to get your balance or your posture. We're going to use this angle first. In your golf swing, if you put a club on your chest and you bend from your hips, the bend comes from your hips first. So we're bending from your hips until that club goes between your legs. Then you're going to tilt until the club runs into your left or your lead leg. That establishes a slight tilt in your spine away from the target. The reason you're doing that is because your right hand's lower on the club than your left. Most players, they get their shoulders tilted, but they get their right hip really high. So that starts to cause a lot of funny things in your backswing. So if you'll just do this, bend, tilt, now you're going to have a good idea as to how to get set up from here. From this angle, and this is a critical angle because we're talking about balance now, your toes should stay quiet. So if I stand nice and tall, as I'm standing tall, my toes are really quiet in my shoes. They're not lifting. If I lean back too much, they lift. If I go this way too much, they grab. So my toes are quiet. Now, all the bend is going to come from my hips. Now I have to create room for my arms to swing. Most people, what they do is they flex too much in their knees and they round from their shoulders. Now you're stuck here, you can't move. So the bend comes from your hips, and your hips move back. And then your arms drop down right underneath your shoulders. If I were to take a line from the base of my neck through my shoulder to the ground, it would be right about here, just into the tips of my toes. If you get out here too much, your toes grab, and coming into the ball, your body will try to pull back over your feet. If you get on your heels too far, you make your back swing, you're off balance, you'll start leaning into the ball. So again, the bend comes from your hips. If I put a club on my back here, and I stood nice and tall, when I bend from this angle, if you watch what happens, that club doesn't change its position. My head stays the same distance from the club. Most people, when they set up to the ball, go like this. Flex, round from their shoulders. That puts the middle of your back in what they call flexion. It's really tight. Then it's really hard to rotate. So bend from your hips, a slight flex in your knees. From this angle, the same bend, little flex, a slight tilt. Get your left hand on there correctly, your right hand, get yourself set up. Now you're ready to be a good player.